Hello all, I am Chef Reena Dongre. Today we would be discussing about quantity food production. After learning this topic, we would be able to understand the concept of quantity food production, and also we would be able to explain in brief the various subsectors of commercial catering as well as welfare catering along with their characteristic features. To begin with, the term volume cooking or quantity cooking or bulk cooking are one and the same. However, to qualify as a quantity food production, there has to be production of minimum 25% or 25 portions or more than that. Volume cooking involves detailed planning and organizing as compared to a la carte cooking, and also it requires a lot of care during the preparation of food. The hygiene of a quantity kitchen requires special attention, as in case of food poisoning, large number of people would be affected, thereby causing bad reputation and financial losses for the organization. Here, I would like to quote an example of Maggi, Nestle India's single largest revenue earner. In June 2015, 38,000 tons of Maggi was recalled and destroyed by Nestle following allegations that it contained chemicals beyond the prescribed limits. From this, you can very well understand the importance of reputation and thereby the financial losses for the organization. Cooking can be done within a premise or even off the premise. In some cases, the food is prepared in one location and served in another. Like say for example, in many of the industrial canteens or commercial bakeries where the main kitchen is located somewhere else, whereas the products are sold at the outlets. In bulk cooking, time equally plays the important role. It is important that the commodities are prepared, processed, cooked and stored with minimum time involved so as to avoid spoilage and thereby wastage. Usage of machinery, automation also helps in reducing labor cost. It saves time and energy and ensures hygiene in the production. Food service units are divided into two groups. Commercial catering, which can be defined as the operations in which profitability is the primary concern. Such outlets exist not only in private ownership but also in the publicly owned companies. So the hotels and restaurants, bars, quick service restaurants, kiosks, pubs, motels, food outlets in the shopping malls all would be the example of the commercial catering. Non-commercial catering or the welfare catering are the food services which are provided in schools and universities, religious places, hospitals and armed services, industrial canteens as well. As the name suggests, it is for welfare and so may not earn profits in the operations. This is the diagram of the catering industry and its sectors. So you can see that catering industry can be broadly classified into commercial catering and non-commercial catering. Commercial catering further can be divided into hotels and restaurants, transport catering and outdoor catering. Whereas non-commercial catering can be divided into industrial catering, institutional catering and hospital catering. For the commercial catering, the various types of F&B outlets can be hotels, fine dining restaurants, specialty restaurants, QSRs, coffee shops, commercial bakery, kiosk or restaurants. Whereas for the transport catering, it can be further divided into road catering or mobile catering, airline catering, cruise catering or marine catering and railway catering. Road catering or automobile catering has progressed from the inns and taverns of earlier days. The catering services are usually open 24 hours a day. The types of service offered include self-service and waiter service restaurants. Various food malls and restaurants on the busy highways and expressways can be apt example of this. Airline catering, it has increased and developed considerably over the past few decades. It originally consists of sandwiches and flask of tea, coffee and alcoholic beverages. However, today it is a specialized service. Airline catering falls into two main areas: terminal catering and air catering. Terminal usually consists of self-service and waiter service restaurant, and they can be supplemented by vending machines and licensed bars. The in-flight catering services or air services varies considerably with the class of travel, type, and duration of flight. The food and beverages which are provided are highly standardized, with the meals portioned and packed. The food are reheated before service to passengers on board. Disposable cutlery, napkins, cups, etc. are used to cut down breakages and wastage. These meals supplied from the specialized flight kitchens and maintains high standards of hygiene and quality control. TajSATS, Ambassador, Sky Chef, Centaurs, Chef Air, Sky Gourmet are some of the leading flight catering companies in India, providing services to international as well as domestic flights. Railway catering can be conveniently divided into two major areas: terminal catering and in-transit catering. Catering at the railway terminal usually comprises self-service and waiter service restaurants, fast food outlets, and vending machines. In-transit catering basically consists of two main types of service. The first is the restaurant car service, where breakfast, lunch, and dinner are sold to passengers. In some trains like Shatabdi and Rajdhani, fare is inclusive of meals. The other type of service is the buffet, which is self-service operation in which passengers go to the car and pick their choice of food from the counter. The space in a restaurant car kitchen is very limited and there is considerable movement of the train which causes difficulty for staff. This kind of service can be found in trains like Deccan Odyssey, Palace on Wheels, etc. Apart from that, IRCTC, that is Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, Comism, a private entity, has food malls at 32 stations and providing food services to the passengers. IRCTC also has come up with the e-catering service along with the partner restaurants and food delivery providers. In this, the passengers has to pre-book the meal and it would be delivered to them on their berth. Okay? So even you can have Domino's pizza on train during your journey. Another type of catering is marine catering or sea catering. There are two types of sea transports which provide the catering facilities. The first one is cruise liners, which is a luxury service provider, and the trips are sold as an all-inclusive package. This package includes food, accommodation, and many other facilities. However, liquor and tobacco is not included in the package. The menus are the best and are suitable for international passengers. Fine dining service is provided on the cruise. The cargo vessels are the merchant ships which carry food and the number of staff is usually limited. In the cargo vessels, cyclic menus are planned which fits within the budget and Also, the stress is on healthy and wholesome meal for the staff. Outdoor catering. When functions are held where there is no catering setup or where the function is not within the scope of the normal catering routine, in that case, certain firms take over completely to look after the catering part. The types of function may include garden parties, opening of a new building, festivals, weddings, banquets, and parties in private houses. Banquets are basically a meal arranged for a group of people to mark occasion, while an Indian connotation can be dawat, bhoj, or vazwan for a banquet. Banqueting is a large catering activity department where food and beverage are served for pre-arranged number of people on prefixed date and time with prefixed menu and price. For the menu, seasonal variations are offered. There is wide variety of choice in the menu and there are different menus for different occasions. For the banquets, normally the buffets are laid which can be for lunch, dinner or high tea. Banquets can be informal or semi-formal or formal. Informal banquets are normally held for marriage parties, get-togethers or festivals. Semi-formal banquets can be held during the annual day functions or institutional functions or during the honored parties. During the semi-formal banquets, separate table is laid for the chief guest and service is provided only to the chief guest. In the formal banquets, which is normally held during the flag day or victory celebration or during the national days or in honor of foreign dignitaries. Here, proper silver service is done, and whereas the important people are seated at the head table and strict protocol is followed during the seating as well as service. Till now, we have discussed about the various commercial catering sectors. Now, we would be discussing about the non-commercial catering services. As the name suggests, non-commercial or subsidized or welfare catering can be defined as those operations in which the profitability of the catering facility is not the outlet's primary concern, as the operation is either completely or partially subsidized by a parent body. Such establishments' primary obligation is the well-being and care of their customers. Generally, the customers do not have choice of catering facilities at such places. Examples of welfare catering could be institutional catering, hospital catering, and industrial catering. Institutional catering, as the name suggests, it would be provided to schools, colleges, and hostel mess. Institutional catering is responsible for health and welfare of younger generation, as it involves catering to children in schools, colleges, and residential universities. These children and youth are in the age group of 5 to 25 years. Hence, it has a social responsibility of developing good food habits among the children of the nation and helping to build a strong, healthy population. Following are the points to be considered while planning the menu for institutional canteens. Cyclic menus has to be planned for regular meals and limited choice is available in canteens. Okay. While menu planning, nutritional requirements has to be kept in mind. Prices need to be reasonable and the service offered has to be consistent. Menus has to be relatively simple, which can be prepared by limited kitchen staff in limited time. Special menus are, however, prepared on special occasion like annual day, festivals, functions, and parties. However, There are few problems associated with institutional catering. Blending the taste and nutrition is one of the biggest challenge. Whatever is nutritious may not be always liked by others. Say for example porridge, though it is nutritious, will not be liked by everyone. Menu fatigue, which means the format for the menu is set. It can be chapati, rice, dal, one salad, one dry sabzi, one lentils. The format is fixed. In that case, the customers or the children may have a menu fatigue because of the same repetitive format. It is very difficult to control the portion. For example, a chicken leg cannot be given to all and hence may lead to dissatisfaction. Similarly, different age group and different gender consumes different proportion of food, which also poses a problem for the institutional catering. Large number of people are to be fed in a limited time, which pose another problem. Arranging adequate facilities and managing them is a challenge, like space of dining halls, seating arrangements, food and waiter service, etc. Okay? And above all, tight budgets. All the food has to be planned within tight budgets, which poses a great problem to the chefs. Industrial catering. As per the Factories Act 1948, it is mandatory for the employers to provide the food facility where there are more than 250 workers in an organization. It is also observed that productivity and efficiency of the workers is directly linked to the welfare and well-being of the workers. The different methods by which organizations provide catering facilities may include a catering department can be set up within the company. The cost of the equipment, labor, and other expenses would be borne by the company. Or the company invites the tenders from industrial caterers for the provision of catering services to the company and outsource it. Or the company could provide floor space to an outside caterer at normal rent. The equipment, labor, overhead, and other costs are borne by the caterer. However, whatever method of catering is chosen, the extent of the subsidy and whether it is a fixed amount to offset losses or given in the form of lunch vouchers to the employee is the management policy decision. And this decision can only be reached after consideration of all known factors and information. Hospital catering. It is becoming popular day by day. Some of the reasons could be lack of support system in the family or increased commuting time between hospitals and homes or increase in nuclear families and or awareness regarding therapeutic diet and its role in faster recovery. Whatever the reason might be, but hospital catering is becoming popular, no doubt. It's not only the patients who are catered, but also the attendants, staff, doctors, and visitors are provided with the food facility. The events and parties in the hospitals are also taken care by the catering facilities. That's why Sodexo, Red Bean Hospitality are some of the companies which are associated with hospital catering, industrial catering, as well as institutional catering. Today, we discussed the various places where quantity cooking happens and studied in brief the characteristics of those places. I hope this will help you to understand the difference in operations at various catering units. I request you to attempt the quiz, the link for which is given in the description. Thank you and have a great day.